And good afternoon, everyone. Happy Thursday. Happy first day of winter. How's everyone doing? Hope your week is going great. I am Steve Leahy. This is Thursday Live. We're going to keep our fingers crossed. Last Monday was an epic mess as far as the ability to upload the video during the stream. So everything froze. It was crazy. But the storm has passed. It was huge. It was a big storm. Here we just kind of got a little bit of it. Pretty high winds, snow, but the reports from the entire north side of the country, all the way to the east coast, was under the blast of the storm. So fortunately, I heard good things from people back east. Again, a lot of rain, a lot of wind, but everyone made it. So that was good. So today, I figured what we do is I have the 543s to finish. I've only done one so far, and I really wanted to take the weekend off and relax. So I thought with you guys we would get one of them done, but I picked a cool one. So you guys are going to see some different stuff, I guess, for the 543s. So that's what I got. I have coffee ready, and we are ready to go. So there's no show and tell. We're just going to get into it. So let's change the camera around and get into it. All right. James, what's up? Dan, hello. Happy Thursday. Yes, exactly. Happy Jeebus if you are into that. And it is the first day of winter. It is the is today 21st or 20th? I don't even know. I think it's the first day of winter. Yeah? I don't know. Well, cheers to that anyway. So, all right. I was kind of in a rush. It was weird. I lost track of time this morning, and then I looked up at the clock, and it was like 12:30. I'm like, holy crap! I got to get ready for the feed. So I picked all the names and ideas for this week's 543. I am going to be live on Monday, on Christmas Day, just because it was so messed up last Monday, and I felt really bad. So I'm going to go live on Monday since Marge and I are just hanging out Monday. We're going to have a really quiet holiday. So I was talking to her, and I'm like, yeah, I think I'm going to go live, and that's how it's going to work. So anyway, I have to get the 5 of them done, and I wrote them. I usually write them down in a notebook that I have on my desk, and I can't find the notebook. So I would love to tell you who suggested this, but I cannot remember. And then I just ran out of time trying to find the notebook. But the idea was a Kling-on bird of prey. And the suggestion was that the bird of prey was coming out of cloak. So I thought that was an awesome idea, and I immediately had an idea on how to pull that off. So you guys are going to hang out with me while I do that. All right. I started to pre-cut stuff, so we're going to save a little bit of time, but most of this isn't really even stencil work. It's more paintbrush work anyway. So the first thing I'm going to do is put the stars in the back, and this is just obviously a scale model picture that I got off of the interwebs. And I will say hello to everyone as people shuffle in. I'm keep looking at the upload speed like terrified that we're going to have a repeat of Monday. Cody Adams, what's up, buddy? There we go. All right. So we'll go grab a couple magnets and hold this thing down because I got to get all the black in the background. If you're going to be around Monday, I've got a bunch of really good 543s. So I'll give you a sneak preview without showing them to you. There's one that has gold leaf on it, couple science fiction ones. I got a car one in there. So, all right. So this, like I said, I already cut this out, so I can just kind of pull this out now that it's stuck. There we go. Pull that out. I'd like to keep everything down, the guns and everything, but if it doesn't, if I get some paint underneath, that's okay. I can fix it. All right. You just go for it. Black. Airbrush. So again, all these 543s are Createx opaque. All these 543s are Createx opaque black and white. See? That's not so hard to say. And this one's going to have some extra on it. Again, because we're going to make this look like it's coming out of cloak, which will be a lot of fun. And I should be able to get this whole thing done with you guys, actually, if you guys are sticking around. These feeds are usually about an hour and a half, maybe-ish. But I plan on hanging around till this is done. So you guys will get the whole thing. All right, so it's opaque black. It's mixed 1-to-1. This is a Micron C+. No, Micron C, sorry. And we're just gonna do the background black. So there's a week, a week and a half left of the sale. If you are considering grabbing anything off the site, now is definitely the time. I mentioned this on Monday. I haven't had a price increase on the original art in a few years now. It was definitely before COVID. So it is time for the paintings to go up in price. The 543s are still going to be at $100 or $200, you know, if you just order one. But all the other original paintings, they'll all be going up. So if there's one you were looking at, you want to grab it, especially while the sale is going on. And then first of the year, like I said, I'm going to bring them up a little bit to get them competitive to what they should be. So the fun part about this is going to be the cloak. So the back side of this is going to be kind of invisible. And I'm going to use a little bit of sparkle color, green sparkle color to kind of make that work. And it's going to be fun. It'll be a fun painting. Okay, if you guys have any questions, just shoot them out there. That would be fantastic. Tim John Luke Smith, what's up? Oh, thank you, Tim. I was listening to Christmas music before you guys got on here. I try to limit my Christmas music listening to, because I really do like a lot of Christmas songs, especially like older Christmas songs, so I try not to burn myself out. But the week of Christmas, I usually go nuts and listen to a whole bunch of stuff. All right, so I've got the background done. This, if I was just painting this, you know, the way that I always painted, if I like a car or something, then I would pull this mask, pull the cutout off, and then start working on the thing, or spray all the stars and all that stuff. But I want to make the back side of this look. All right, I'm going to slow down because clearly I can't talk today. But I want the back side to be invisible, or like kind of coming out of invisibility. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the magnets off the back side of this. Like maybe like that. Or let's put a magnet on this gun. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this mask up like this. And I'm going to respray this to kind of black this out and give myself a little bit of fade. You know what? I don't even need to have this mask on here. I will put it back on when I go to do the stars, but we don't need it on here right now. Save that. Again, if you have any questions or comments, please put them out. One quick bit of show and tell. If you're around on Tuesday, the Tech Tuesday is on the painting that I'm working on of Emily. I decided to scrap that painting where it was on Monday and restart it. So you get to see the explanation of that on Tuesday. In fact, I may work on that on Monday. We'll see how that goes. All right, so this is black 1-to-1. I'm going to start with this, but this doesn't really fade very well. It covers really, really well, but it doesn't. The atomization is pretty rough, which means it's pretty it's not very smooth. You can see it, but this will be good to start, especially with the back. So the back is just going to get kind of blown out, but the front of it is where I want to kind of have that fade. So just got to figure out how much of the back side of this is going to be invisible, and I think I want to leave that leading edge of the wing a little bit. Yeah, that's going to work. That is going to work. Yeah, actually, I was going to switch to a thinner paint to kind of get that fade a little bit more, but no, I like that. That's going to work. All right, so let's put some stars in now to kind of make that all work. I'll try to keep an eye on the comments as we go too. There we go, there we go. All right, awesome. Stars, I'll use, oh, I'll clean that brush out. Yeah, I'll use this. What the heck? That's got black in it. Oh, does it have black in it? Yeah, it does. I'm gonna have to clean the brush out anyway, because they all have black in them. Okay, so I'm gonna have to put that mask back on because I don't really want the stars to be on the front of the ship where it's going to be visible. I mean, I could cover over the stars, you know, I could just spray stars everywhere and then just paint over them, but the paint, the droplets of paint are so thick that you'll see them, you'll see the relief of them through the paint. So I don't want that. So I'm going to take the cutout, put this back on here. Sure we got it in the right way. So rotate that a little bit. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Put a magnet there, maybe a magnet here, and on this gun too. Okay, and now we'll fold this, no, not there, fold this back up. Okay, good. So what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to see the, you know, the edge, so I can put the stars up all the way through the fade. Brad Mummery, what's up, buddy? All right, so a little bit of white. I've done this before with you guys, all these stars and the stipple type of thing you can do with the airbrush. So again, if you haven't seen this, this is a blast, and this is one of the things that the airbrush really just kind of does super well. So if I want to put stars here, all I need to do is turn down the air pressure or the airflow way down on the airbrush, like way down. And instead of getting a spray now, I'm going to get, I'll try to get it to spray, there we go. Instead of getting a spray, now I get this little spitting, all these little dots, which is great because for stars, I mean, look at how crazy easy this is. Like it's like takes no time. And I talked about this before when I was doing the whole demo on this whole stipple thing. You have a ton of control. Like I could put the stars wherever I wanted. I'm just kind of back far and just kind of dropping them in there. But yeah, you can get some pretty detailed stuff. Oh, Brad, thank you. Aw. All right, so now I dropped the air pressure a little bit lower to get a little bit bigger dot. So this is cool because for the stars, this adds, believe it or not, it adds a lot of dimension and depth to the background. When you have the little stars in there and then you have like bigger stars too, it gives it a feeling like it's really three-dimensional, which is fun. So I don't want to overdo this. I just want to have, you know, a bunch of them on there. William, what's up? So I'll turn the pressure back up. I'm not going to make any of these glow. If there was a bigger one, you know, that's when you'd like add a little bit of glow around it. But all these are pretty small, and I also don't want to take away from what's going on up here. Okay, so that part's done. Again, you know, the kind of rule of thumb with these is to get them done within an hour, 2 hours is what I shoot for. And that works really well. Tim, thank you. All right. So I do have some stars on the parts that are fading out, but that's exactly what I want because I want you to be able to kind of see through it like it's invisible. All right. So the next thing is to get the do I want to do that? Yeah. The next thing is to get the invisible part in, and what I thought I'd use for that is Wicked Cosmic Sparkle Green. So what that's going to do is it's going to give me like you'll only be able to see it if you turn it at an angle. And what's more Kling-on than green? So line this back up. This is the, this is the first cutout. The part that I used to cut out the whole thing. So we're just going to use the reverse because this is what we're going to use to get the back of the ship in. Bunch of magnets, especially on the back side of this, because I want this to be nice and clean and tight on the back side of it. I'm not going to have too much on the front edge of the wing, the leading edge of the wing, so I don't have to worry too much about that, but I still want to hold it down. I don't want, paint to get underneath that. I got a real scratchy voice today, and I don't know why. Maybe because I haven't talked to anyone yet today. Marge is here, but she's been working like crazy. They've got a bunch of big projects going on, so I just smile and wave. It's so funny. We both work from home, but I feel like we never see each other. All right. So I'm going to give this a good shake. If you notice on this stuff, all the pearl is down the bottom. So this stuff really settles out. This stuff is completely cool though. The sparkle green is this pearl greenish pigment, and it's suspended in a clear liquid. So when it goes on, like I said, it's invisible from certain angles, but then if you tilt it, you can see the green. So what I'm going to do to kind of help things along here is I'm going to take the top off of this, and I have a bamboo meat skewer here. I'll take the top off here. I'm just going to reach down and kind of dig that stuff up at the bottom, get that suspended. I have a test tube mixer that was recommended by the Airspace. If you follow Bill on YouTube, if you don't follow Bill on YouTube, the Airspace, you should. But he had recommended a test tube mixer, and it works awesome for the paint, but I have mine unplugged here right now. So I can't use that, so I'll just have to shake it. But this will be a good start. Gary Shees, what's up? Gary, I sent out your package today. So hopefully, what's today, Thursday? Yeah, you probably won't get it till next week, but it's on its way. Yeah, I mean, who knows? It might, because we're pretty close to one another. So the post office isn't making any guarantees, but they have been really, really good this year. So I expect good things, and then are pleasantly surprised when they're even better. All right. So let me give this a good shake now. So everything's back to being suspended. It's just kind of clumpy in there. So I really got to make sure I shake this up well. And this will be a good opportunity for you guys to take a drink from your beverage while I shake paint. If you want to watch me shake paint, it's over here. I can't drink my coffee and shake, sorry. Ah, it's good stuff, good stuff. When I moved 3 years ago here, I packed up my French press, and I really need to find that. Sometimes you just need, and Honey's not here, but Honey can relate, I'm sure as many of you can who drink coffee. Sometimes you just need that super high test coffee, and that French press is great because you just put the ground in it, the coffee grounds, and you can make your coffee as strong as you want. You can make it like rip your head off if you want. It's a neat thing. And it's super easy. You just pour hot water in it. So, all right. I think that should be good. So that's all mixed up now. All right. I love this color. I love all these cosmic sparkles. They're really cool. What I'm going to do with this, though, what am I going to do? Yeah, let me use a little bit bigger brush with this because it's metallic. I don't have to use the Eclipse. The Eclipse has a really big nozzle in it, but I may have to because dumbass me left paint in this brush and now it's dried, so can't use that one. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? That's what happens when you're in a hurry. All right, so I guess we're using the Eclipse. This thing needs a serious serious overhaul. But it'll work for now. Yeah, this poor brush has been through the ringer. This CS, I've had this for years and years and years, and I abuse it. It's something fierce, so that's not great. But what I really should, I keep saying it every time I pull this brush out, I'm like, I should get another one. Because I had two, I donated one, and now I have this one. But I really should just get another one and just leave it set up the way it should be, which is with the 0.35 in it, the original. Oops, what am I missing? Oh, here we go. Since it's a bit solid, would you strain it? No, William, this stuff, because it's metallic, essentially, yeah, you'd need a really wide, like a wide grit type of strainer for it. So it makes it not really worth it. I just use a bigger brush with it. Yes, James, Honey is the biggest sweetheart ever. She's awesome. Yeah, so yeah, it's really just about, with this stuff, it's really just about making sure it's mixed up. So now that it's mixed up and I add a little bit of reducer to it, it's ready to rock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the back side of this and fade this into the rest of it. Got to do this from an angle because it's hard to see as it goes on. And you got to use really light layers. I know you can't see it yet, but I'm going to tilt this for you so you can. So really light layers and just kind of trust the paint because, again, it's difficult to see it going on. So you got to kind of almost like believe that it's going on. You know, you just do your light sprays like you do everything, and then just, you know, trust that it's working, and then trust it does. If you try to hose it down so you can see it, it makes a mess. This is looking really good though. One more pass and I think it's ready. Yeah, that's going to be good. All right, let me clean this out. Yeah, I may do a spa day on this brush. I need to do a spa day on this brush. All right, let me pull this off before I continue, and I'll show you kind of what the effect is, because this has got the invisible part already ready for it, ready to go, which is cool. I'm happy with this already. I did this with the Wonder Woman plane painting too, so the whole Wonder Woman jet was done like this. All right. So there is your invisible part. So you can see it at an angle like that, like it's lit up, right? But as you turn this thing, it just completely disappears. Is that not stupidly cool or what? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to paint the front of the front edge of this as if it's, you can see the whole thing. But it's just such a cool effect. And you can see the stars behind it too. So already it's a huge win. I'm super happy with this. This is also way more than a 543, but screw that. It's Christmas time, it's New Year's, it's time to do something cool. So what else we got? What else we got? Oh yeah, you're talking about Honey. Honey is awesome. Honey's the bestest. All right. So the Bird of Prey is kind of a grayish green. So we're gonna kind of run with that. I'm going to base this in, and I'm going to use the same copy to do this. So I have to reclaim where the black kind of slipped underneath and made a mess. Not made a mess, but I got under spray on this thing. So we're going to take care of that right now. What I got to be really careful of is the fade into the green that I just did. That really came out great, and I want to make sure that, I don't get too much extra spray on all that, because that effect will easily get kind of blurred out if I put a bunch of paint on it, which I do not want to do. So I think I got white in one of those brushes still, maybe. That would be nice. No, I don't, because I let that brush dry. That's what happened with that one. What else we got? Oh no, I do have white in this one from the stars. That's lovely. So that's going to be our base color. Let me, I wonder if that'll work. I don't know if you'll be able to see. So, well, yeah, I guess I can do it over here. Okay, turn this into green. I'm going to use moss green and black. I love moss green. It's detail moss green. Just that cool color. So a little bit of moss green. I got black on here somewhere, so we're good. So I'll grab a little bit of moss green, mix that in. That's what I'm talking about. A little bit of black. A little bit more black. This palette dried out. I left the wet palette open last night. Doesn't hurt it. It's just everything dries out. And actually, every once in a while, you should let it dry out and clean it out because, you know, you have standing, it's not standing water, but it's still moist. So things tend to love to grow on it. That's why this wet palette from Redgrass is so great. So this, the pad that's underneath that actually holds all the water underneath this parchment here, this has some sort of antibacterial stuff, so it keeps it from molding, which is really, really cool. Because that's the one thing about making your own. You have to constantly empty it and change out the whatever you use, the sponge or the paper towels or whatever you use to keep it wet, because that thing like molds in like 2 days. This thing, it does mold, but you have to, I mean, it goes a long way before it starts doing any of that. All right, so this actually is too dark now. What did I do? I added too much black to it. Lovely. Wasn't even paying attention. So we'll add more white to it. Yeah, that was way too dark. So I'm just going to add more white to it. That's better. There we go. Okay. Now I know I have white in this brush right now, so in the front of the brush, so I'm just going to back flush that a little bit. Lovely. All right, so we're going to reclaim the front of this ship. Just really light layers. Make sure I got plenty of magnets on this because I don't want to have the opposite problem where the white or greenish underspray gets underneath and gets into the space area. So I don't want that. So just make sure it's held down really well. And again, I want to fade that as I get towards the invisible part. I don't think I've ever painted a bird of prey. I mean, I think I've done the Enterprise, but I don't think I've ever done anything else from the show, which is too bad because I really like the show. And I love the spaceship designs. I feel like I need a little on this leading edge, just a little bit, to kind of make that transition work. Yeah, so as it moves into the stars, I think that's going to work. Yeah? Yeah. All right, great. I'm going to save that color because that's going to be, I can use that to make the darker panels on this. This thing actually, now that I've got this started, this thing's going to fly. And I just got a magnet on there too. Bummer. This thing's going to fly. I'm going to have this done in short order. This makes me happy though. What was the brand of wet palette? Sorry, I missed it. Tim, it's called, I did a Tech Tuesday or 2 of them on them. It's made by a company called Redgrass, Redgrass. And they primarily sell their wares to scale modelers, especially the little miniature figures like the Warhammer type of miniatures. So that's really where they're known. But I found them through, just kind of doing all the modeling, and the wet palette they sell is amazing. I got mine right from the company. I think they're in Germany, But since then, I know you can get them in the U.S. through like Amazon, and they may even have distributors now. But for water-based paints, I don't know what I'd do without it now. It works that well. All right, so that's good. So now I still get the same effect. Like there's the ship coming out of cloak, right? But then when you tilt it back, you can see the rest of it, which is going to be, it's going to be just right. Just right. All right, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of the details in. And most of that is just these different colored panels. So we're going to cut out a few of those and get that working. I'm going to drop you guys down a bit just so you can see the top of the cutting mat, and that way I don't have to keep moving the camera around. So anywhere where it's dark, I'm going to just kind of cut out the general shapes of this. And I definitely know that the Trekkies would be all like, hey, that's not, you know, this is probably like a toy. I know I don't know how good this model is. I didn't really look it up. But I know the Trekkies would be all over me, you know. That's not the official blah, blah, blah. And it's okay, though. It's 543. It's designed to be, you know, not perfect. Actually, all right, we'll get to that. I was just thinking out loud. I'm not going to use that greenish color that I just mixed up for this. And I'll show you why when I get there. But it basically would become a problem with the back side of this where it's faded. So I got to change my attack plan, so to speak. Oh, who'd I miss? Simon Carter, what's up? Get my head out of the way. Simon, I'm doing great. Happy winter solstice. This is it. So after the 21st, days start getting longer again. Makes me a happy camper. Like, I don't think I'd ever want to live permanently in a warmer area like, you know, Florida or Texas or Arizona, but damn, I could see why people live half a year in places like that. I used to love winter too. How about Norway? Yeah, I would live in Norway during the summer. Norway was beautiful. There's an artist I follow. She's an amazing artist. Does a lot of pen and ink type of stuff, real detailed, crazy pen and ink stuff. And she's always in some artist's retreat. So right now she's in some island. I think it's north of Iceland. And yeah, no thanks. I mean, I'm super impressed that humans live there and enjoy it, but no, I think no. All right, that's a good start right there. There are some other details and whatnot, but we'll get those in as we go. Yeah, I'm going to hand paint a lot of these details anyway, so we got really only 2 stencils to cut out. I want to kind of get these other shapes here, but I'll do that on another template, I think. This is really just the darkest areas. All right, so I'm going to line this up. Yeah, the only time I've been to Norway, thankfully, was during the summer, so it was very beautiful. All right, perfect. So here's what I was talking about with the green. So I could take that green that I just had and add a bunch of black to it to get the color that I need to do this. However, if I use that up in here where the cloak is, it's just going to cover the cloak. It's not going to be able to see it. So we're going to use a little bit of Candy 2.0 to do this, because the candy is see-through. So even if I put it up here where the cloak is, it'll still leave that effect that I want, where that, you know, that sparkle is kind of invisible at certain angles. The candy will retain that. So I'll clean out this brush here. I got candy green around here somewhere. I do. How lovely. So this is emerald green candy. Give that a good shake while I'm... There we go. Yeah, the candies are amazing. Tim, I'm glad you're using them because you have so much experience with that transparent black with the inks. I think you're gonna push those candies in a way that other people aren't, which I think is exciting. So that's going to be a lot of fun to watch what you do with those. So the candies need a carrier. I could spray them on all right, on this I could spray the candies directly on this and it would be fine because there's so little of it. But I'm going to still kind of follow the rules. So I'm going to grab a little bit of 40/50 and reducer. Let's find the right one here. Yeah. This one's 1 part 40/50 and 5 parts reducer. So we'll add a couple drops of green candy in here and then a little bit of that 40/50 mix. And this just gives it body. This just allows it to spray smoother. Again, for this scale, this tiny, tiny little bit, I really don't need to. But following the rules can be good. Yeah, I knew you'd it's just going to be a matter of getting them to spray the same way, which I think is going to be the balance, Tim, of that 40/50. You know, I know you're already doing it, but it's doing the work of figuring out exactly how much 40/50 to add and reducer maybe to kind of get them to spray just like your inks. So that's going to be exciting because then it opens up all the colors that they have. It's not just, you know, black, or it's not just the fade proof inks, which are great to use because I don't have to tell you, Tim. Though for everyone else, the one big problem with using colored inks is that they generally, for the most part, a lot of them fade. It's just the way the dye is and the pigment in the dye, especially reds and stuff. They really you know, they just wash out over time. Where they do have some fade proof ones, but the number of colors is a lot less than what the regular ones are. Now black doesn't fade at all. Black is permanent, but it's just the other colors. I have a painting that I did back in college when I was using inks all the time, and it's nearly invisible now. So, and it's not like it hangs in the sun or anything. It's the nature of the beast. All right, so there's green. I don't think I need to add any. I probably need to add a little bit of black to this. The only reason I want to add a little bit of black to this is because this is a brilliant green when you spray it, and that's not what I want. So I'm just going to add 1 drop of candy black to this. Give myself a little bit of a dark green tone. And if you do get into the candies, make sure you pick up a bottle of bleed checker, this stuff here. So what this will do is this will seal the candy layer in. So say you're going to do your painting and you're going to do it like I do it. So you paint all the colors and then you add those highlights on the end, like maybe with a paintbrush. If you just put white over, like if I spray this green on here now and then I put white highlights on it, the candy will bleed into the white and turn the white green. So you just need this stuff. You spray a couple coats of this and it acts as a barrier between the candies and whatever else you put on. So this is essential if you're using the candies. It's 40/40. It's the bleed checker. It's the only thing that well, it's not the only thing that works, but it's the product that they make specifically for that. So you can't, for instance, you can't use like 40/30 or the balancing clear, or I don't even think you can use the 40/50 because as long as there's one common component between layers, that's the doorway for the candies to kind of creep all the way through. So the 40/40 is a completely dissimilar product than everything, so it acts like a barrier. Okay. A little dark green here. Let's start in the front of it to kind of get the details in on that. And this is just, like I said, this is kind of like blocking in two. It's like a place marker for the paintbrush work. So it doesn't have to be like, you know, there's nothing really crazy going on here. a matter of getting some of that in. Great tip on the 40/40. Yeah, it's essential. It really is. I mean, it isn't essential. If you're doing a monochromatic or all candy painting, there's no other paint on it. You don't need the 40/40. You just, because it's, I mean, it's, the idea is all that stuff bleeds together anyway. Now, also, it's not like everything's going to always bleed together, but it just guarantees that it won't. So some colors don't really do it. So there we go. That's that part. Still happy. So now up here, where I've got that darker, you know, area on the fade, so you can see it at certain angles. But again, when it dips down, it disappears with the metallic. So if I painted that with paint and I tilted this, you'd still see it, because the paint, you know, the paint just doesn't allow the same light to pass through it that the candies and the pearl does. So, all right, so I think we're at the point now where we'll get you guys closer. Yeah, because I'll do a bunch of paintbrush work on this, then throw some airbrushing on it to darken it up and add highlights and stuff. And we're gonna have this one in the bag, kids. Definitely have Christmas songs stuck in my head. It's not bad though. All right, I need another copy here so I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, get my glove. The best part about this is when I clear this, when I put the 40/50 or the, yeah, I'll use 40/50 on this, I think, the satin. But when I put the clear on this, it'll kind of pull everything back together. It's just so how it's like kind of washed out up here with the light. When I get the 40 on it, the clear on it, it's going to be more like that, which is nice. Which is nice also. All right. Got some green down here, got some black down here, so I'm in good shape. Make a little bit lighter green here. Okay. So this is usually the point of the painting where I just have the music going and just kind of have fun with it and just roll around the painting. So it's a little bit unusual to be doing these because I'm so used to just cranking these all out, but it's so unusual to be doing these without music. So I may have you guys sing in a bit. Might be a good way to go. So with these 543s, again, the idea for me is to make them all work, is to get them done at a reasonable speed. So what that means is there's going to be things that I'd really love to paint on this, like these details, and there's a point where I just got to say, okay, you got to just get it done fast. And that's been, I said it before and I'll say it again, that's what made these paintings so much fun for me. Because I'm usually like, okay, you know, every single possible detail I can pull off, and they take a long time. But these things are like, okay, you can't do that. You have to find a way to make it look good without spending, you know, 80 hours on it. And that's been a lot of fun to try to make those decisions as I go. Sometimes, you know, I hit, sometimes not so much. But I think for the most part, they've been pretty good. All right, James, have a great one. Oh, Simon, yeah, sorry, yeah. The what I used for that, for the cloak color is not that. I put it away already. I used the Cosmic Sparkle Green. So the Cosmic Sparkle has a much finer cut size. You know what I mean? Like the pigment in it is, the sparkle, little bits of pearl are really, really small in the Cosmic Sparkle. So they work really, really well for an effect like this where I want it to be invisible. You know, I don't want it to show up. The Cosmic Sparkle is really fine, so it does that really, really well. And then, so this is basically like a darker olive green that I'm using here. So again, it's weird. It's just more the same as far as how I do things. So this, I'm kind of really blocking in these details. And then I don't know if you noticed it on the front of this cannon. So I painted in with the olive green, but then when I was kind of putting in some of the darker details with the black, I'll go back in and just drop black in a few spots that need to be darkened up. So it's great. I can put all the details in with this one color and then just adjust them as I go, either, you know, darker or whatever. Now, as I get to the cloaked part, I don't want to put a whole bunch of details on that. So I'm just going to kind of run it around and then just kind of like lift the brush off really carefully. And so it just kind of disappears. They're going to need a straight edge for some of this. Yeah, thanks, Tim. Yeah, it's fun. It's a neat effect, and I like I said, I find I cheat and use it a lot. All right, I don't think I need to cut anything else out. I might need to, so we'll pull it back if we do. But okay, you guys have seen this, the old ye old ruler trick to get a straight line on here. It's kind of a horizontal maul stick. Yeah, definitely. That's the whole. I think that's the whole thing, Tim. Yeah, once you start to get a feel for what each one of the paint lines does, that really helps open up what you can do with them. And they've got so many that it's endless. I mean, if there's an effect that you want to get, I'm sure there's a paint from their line that will let you do that. And the best part is they just make the stuff. I mean, they do have a good idea of, you know, obviously how to use it and what they can get out of it. But I see people coming up with stuff all the time that they never even thought of, which is a blast. And I know they appreciate it too. All right, so these details on the back where the ship is basically in cloak, I really want to kind of be careful not to go too crazy with it. Again, I don't want anything to really stand out. So I'm just going to kind of lightly put a little bit of detail in here just to kind of give the indication that something's going on there. But again, I don't want to put too much back there. That's good. Yeah, so this week is going to be a good week on the on Monday night. I've got some great paintings coming up with the 543s. Like I said, there's a gold leaf one that actually Miss Honey was the one who suggested this painting, not this painting here, but the gold one. So oh, that's all I can't talk. That's all in shadow underneath, so we'll have to airbrush on that, but that'll be easy. So a marine blue with black candy, and it was magic. Yeah, I talk about that black candy a lot, and I'm glad, Tim, you're doing adjustments to it too. The black candy is very, very purple, and I know it was intended to be, but I always mess around with it a little bit to get it more to a neutral black than that super purple candy color that it is. That's where I got that slate black from. This one here. So that's my bluish black mix. Okay. And Tim, I know I said it before, but I'm glad to see that you're settling in. I don't know if you enjoy moving. Some people do. Marge loves it. I can't stand it. It's just like, I don't know, it's just such a disruption. I seem to prefer a cool black tone in my painting, so Candy 2.0 works really nicely. Yeah, there you go, Simon. Yeah, if you like that bluish, purpley, yeah, it's, and again, it wasn't that was an accident. They specifically, I know Fraser was the one who really kind of guided that whole thing. So it was specifically made around what Craig usually uses, which if you've ever seen, well, most people who airbrush know who Craig Fraser is and know of his work. And all of his black candy work is very purple, which is cool. So it wasn't surprising that when he worked with Createx to come up with that line, that the black was kind of in his honor, which was nice. Slate is candy black. I have to look it up again, but I know one of the components is green, and that green is what helps cancel out that warmish purpley color. So I'll have to look it up again for you. I think I did a video on it, maybe, possibly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did a Tech Tuesday on it. Yeah, I really thought for a while there that, I was going to kind of really get into using the candies as a regular paint line. But it really came down to, if it's not broken, don't fix it. That's really what kind of kept me on the same path with the Wicked colors. That's why I'm so happy to see guys like Tim jump in on that. They're not automotive guys. They're going to use this more like fine art, like a fine art paint, which is very exciting to me. Again, when I started with Createx, the illustration line wasn't even a thing, and so it really was the Wicked line for me. And the Wicked line was pretty much across the board. Everyone's using it for T-shirts or whatever. So it was just, it was just nice that I could take it in a different way. So I'm excited because I do like the candies, but it's a different mindset, that you need to kind of have when you're working with them, because they are totally transparent. It's like, it's like painting with stained glass. It's awesome, but it's so different than the way that I'm used to painting. Meaning, like my stuff, I rely on paint to be somewhat opaque, and the candies just aren't that. They're not designed for that. They're not meant like that. So it's good to see someone grab them that's familiar with that really transparent application of color. Oh, that's awesome, Tim. I mean, I'm happy. I'm joyfully biased with this paint line. So Beauties. Told ya, it's gonna be easy. Easy peasy. All right, so I'm gonna grab, what do I still have that dark color in here? This is the candy color. Is this gonna work? No, because that's awful green. All right, I think I'm done with the candy anyway, so let me get rid of that. I'm just gonna switch to a little bit of, maybe I'll grab the white to kind of put some highlights in on this, and then the dark color, and believe it or not, you guys, this thing is almost done. Yeah, let's use a little bit of white, I think. There it is. So we're gonna add a little bit of highlight on the top front of this. Oh, Gary, no, I missed your question. Hold on, let me jump back. Because that worked out well, because I will answer your question right now. Question above. All right, here we go. Oh, is the car painting I bought on Yupo paper? Just curious. Yes, it is, Gary. It's basically a colored version of a 543. So it's a 5x7. Well, it's a little bit bigger. The image is 5x7, and it's prepped Yupo paper. But in that, I used a white base instead because of the blue. But yeah, that's Yupo paper, and it's cleared too with the 4050 as well. So the beautiful thing about framing Yupo is you can use anything and everything you want. You can mat it, you can mount it on another board, and then essentially frame it like a panel. You have endless options with that stuff. With the Yupo paper, generally though, I do more of a traditional paper type. If I had an artwork on paper, so I'll usually use a mat with that, and then or double mats or whatever. One, because it's super really easy to do that. You just need the photo corners, and you're ready to go. Come on, man, clean this bottle out too. Come on, just give me a little more. There we go. All right. So I've got a little bit of white in here. This is super reduced too. This is 1 part paint to 5 parts reducer. What I am going to do though, to make my life a little bit easier, is I'm going to grab this cutout here. Since I don't really want, again, I don't want the highlights to go out onto the space part. It wouldn't be a total disaster, but what it would do is the paint on the space part would make it look like it's glowing, and I don't want that. I just want to kind of give it a little bit of something. Let's see what we got. The squealing of an airbrush template. I love it. Here we go. A little bit of highlight there. And then get rid of this. And we're going to switch to black. And I know most of the people who are watching are from all over the place, but if anyone's local, I do have a bunch of work at the Source Gallery. I dropped off a bunch of 543s with Mark, who's the owner, and he's also got a bunch of other paintings there too of mine. So if you want to grab something from him, I extended the same holiday discount to him. You don't need a code, obviously, because you just walk in and buy stuff, but he knows that that's going on. In fact, if you guys remember the marble painting, that just got collected, so that was cool. Mr. Barker, what is up? There we go. I know, the flute lessons, yes. Airbrush people call that the song of their people. So, all right, now for the black, I don't need the cutout, because if I get black in the background, it doesn't matter. Ah, this is making me happy already. grab some black here, and we'll add the shading in on the visible part, and we'll be pretty much ready to go. So this bottom section is all shaded. This mix is 1 part paint to 10 parts reducer, and it's kind of like my go-to detail color with this Micron B. It has just an extremely fine atomization, like almost invisible, which is nice. And it's really controllable too. Like this, the green part underneath the bridge here needs to be a little bit darker, so I don't even need to mask that off. I can just kind of go for it with the airbrush because this brush kind of atomizes so fine. Makes it fun. And the side of the head of the ship here. And here. What would have really been fun with this one, and I obviously didn't think of it till now, it would have been great to put like a really light or almost invisible Kling-on emblem behind this whole thing in that same green, but just really subtle, so you can't even see it unless you look at the right angle. I mean, I could still do it, but again, this is what I'm talking about. With these 543s, that's an excellent idea on a big painting that I can spend a bunch of time on. But, you know, to cut that out and then to mask everything off and get that in there and all that stuff, it's just, you know, it just pushes these paintings beyond what they were intended to be. I can't find my burnt orange anywhere. I'll send it to you, Brad. It'll be there in like 8 weeks, knowing the post. And yes, Brad, I go through that all the freaking time. It's like, where did I put that? I just had it. And I'm relatively organized too with all this. You know, I don't know. Sometimes it just happens. All right, shadow under whatever this thing is. Same thing here. I don't want to get too far into the back side of it because this black will sit on top of the cloaked part, and you'll see it if I hit it at the right angle. So I don't want to get that thing happening. So as much as I want to mess around back there with the shadows and details and stuff, I'm going to just leave it the way it is. Because it's supposed to be invisible, damn it. This other wing too. I want to do so much on this wing, but it's starting to turn invisible, and I really, really don't want to screw it up. I'm doing it. I'm doing this. There's so many paintings that I have that get to the point where it's like, oh, should I do this? Should I just push it that one little bit farther? And then I do, and I instantly regret it, and then regret it forever when I look at that painting. Like, oh, remember you got to that point and you just couldn't stop yourself and you just kept adding stuff and then it looked like crap? Well, so I really try hard to, you know, listen to what my brain is screaming at me. Like if it's saying, maybe just a little bit more right there. As soon as I say maybe just, then I just stop. It's like, no, okay, I'm done. I do need a few more little paintbrush details though, which aren't going to kill it. But I did a bunch on here, and I just need a couple more to kind of really sell it. But they're really thin and light, so we'll keep them like really, yeah. As Gerald says, details. Tim, 100,000%. It's like, yeah, just need that little detail, that little highlight right there, and then, And then, and I don't have to tell Tim, what that then involves is not just like, oh, that's too bad I put that highlight in, let me take that out. No. It's like now you have to just repaint the entire face because you can't get that off, and it's just a nightmare. We all go through it, and I think, if it's just, I don't know, it never really disappears, that urge to just put that one last paint stroke on there. Yes. See, it's right here. It's like, oh, if I make a glow there and like a proton torpedo coming out of there, and I'm like, Steve, stop. All right, let me move the camera back. Actually, I'll sign this and I'll move the camera back so that you guys are more head on, so I can give you the full effect of what this painting now does. Let's turn that off. You don't need that. My big nose in the way. Let me grab, I did a bunch of video on signing paintings, so I found a new paint nib that is really working for the white. This is a 048, and I think it's from Schaefer? I don't know. I'll have to look it up. But this nib right here works really, really well for signing paintings. I've had such a hard time finding something to work with the white really well. And I can't find like a paint pen or anything like these. Like these are what I use to sign the backs of the paintings when I frame them, and I also use this to sign like the prints. It's a gold metallic paint. This is great. I've tried these jelly roll pens, which are white, but they don't work that great. I've tried Stabilo pencils and not this one. That's not a Stabilo, but you get the idea. I've tried those. So yeah, so what it comes down to basically is the paint itself works the best out of all of it. And what I do, I go over this in the signing video, but I use 2-to-1, so it's 2 parts paint to 1 part reducer. And then all I end up doing is just filling up the reservoir in the paint and in the pen nib. That's probably too much. Take some of that out so it doesn't blob everywhere. There we go. And then that's what I use. So it's working out pretty well. It's still not great because, it's designed, this nib is designed to be like pulled like this. It's not designed to be pushed up. So when you're signing, you're pushing up too. So there's an instance where you got to use kind of a weird, you can't put pressure on it when you're doing like an upstroke because you'll dig into the paper. So you got to kind of develop this back and forth thing. But like I said, out of all the options so far, it produces the best results for me for these really small signatures. All right, I will unmask this so you can see it, and then I'll tilt it so you can see the whole disappear act, and be ready to go. I should use the glove for this because I don't want to get my greasy mitts on it. Yes, thank you, Tim. Thank you. All right. Yeah, the cloak effect is a blast. So, all right. So let's get the tape off so you get the whole effect. And then, all right. Yeah, I'll show this to you, and then we'll put one round of clear on it. I'm not going to keep you guys around for the 10-15 minutes that it takes for it to dry, but you get the idea. So here's the cloaked version of that, and then as you bend it backwards, you can see the rest of the ship. So so this is kind of shiny. This is very shiny. When I put the clear on it and the satin clear, then the sheen is going to be all the same. So you really, really won't see it when I tilt it forward. And then when you tilt it back, it'll just kind of come into view, which will be fun. So there you go. There's your Bird of Prey 543. Actually, yeah, hang on one second. We'll put one round of clear on this, just kind of, it's going to be real wet, so you're not going to get a good idea, but it'll be something. Yeah, I think I'm going to use satin on this. I've started to use the high gloss on some of them, like the gold leaf one has high gloss on it. So this is the high gloss from Createx, which is 40, 50 something. Hold on. I do that all the time. I dumped all my knives out. That sucks. My knife blades are all over the bin here. Come on. Maybe I don't have it. I don't have it. It's in a bigger bottle, I think. But anyway, yeah, it's high gloss, which is, like I said, it works out great for the gold leaf. I wish I could show you, but you're going to have to wait till Monday. So after you're done with, if you do the whole Christmas thing, join me at 8 o'clock on Christmas Day. And I'll show you the gold leaf one. All right, so this is just UVLS satin. This is my kind of go-to for the 543s and for a lot of things. I really like it. It's just a neat thing. All right, I'm gonna hold my breath because this should be done in the spray booth, but I can't bring you guys over there. So here we go. Actually, let me zoom you in a little bit so you can kind of get a feel for what's going on here. All right. Yay. So again, really glossy right now, but if we give that a minute, yeah, we'll hang out for a minute, I think, while I talk to you guys. So, you know what I'll do? Actually, I'm going to put you guys, I'm going to go bring this to the spray booth right now so it'll evaporate. And then by the time it's done, by the time we're ready to sign off, I'll grab it again so you can see it. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Well, thank you guys for hanging out. That was fun. Helping me be all productive and everything. Yeah, Tim, it's a great brush. There are a couple, I'm going to switch over to the other camera. What was I thinking? There are a couple other trigger brushes. Iwata sells, I think they still have the TH series, which is their trigger brush. I've never owned one, but I know it's, you know, over the top. But I just like that tritium. It's just a workhorse, you know. Just can do all kinds of stuff with it, and it's versatile and it's inexpensive to maintain, and it's just a good brush all around. So yeah, I like it. So the schedule for the rest of the way out, if you are a Patreon member, first off, thank you. The new episode of Brad's Cutlass is going to go up tomorrow, and I think we're on episode 16 or 17 there. So thank you to the Patreon members. Thank you for everyone who has a bright, shiny colored name here. That means you're a member here. That means a ton to me. Thank you for the super chats today. That was awesome. One of the things that's coming up, and as we continue to grow, there's a couple YouTube channels that I watch that do a great, it's kind of really cool. What they end up doing is, at the end of the feed, they read all the super chats all in a row. So it's nice. People have questions and comments, and they just kind of take the end of their show to go through all those. So I could see doing that in the future so that I don't miss any of them. And so keep an eye on that. And that super chat is always appreciated too, and the thanks and all that fun stuff. So I'm talking and trying to waste time while that thing is drying off, but it should be dry in a couple minutes. So it won't be fully dry for the next coat, but it'll be ready to look at. So the other thing that's coming up is next week is going to be business as usual. So again, I've decided to do a feed on Monday on Christmas Day for the people who don't celebrate, and for the people who do celebrate and are all done with their holiday and just kind of chilling out on Monday. So I'll have 5 new paintings for that. I'm not quite sure what we're going to be working on. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be working on the new Emily painting, just because I had such a disaster of a time last week. So I think that's the plan for that. I already have the Tech Tuesday up for next Tuesday. It's going to go live at 10 a.m. on Tuesday. The new razor blade painting, the premiere is going to be on Wednesday, and then live's Thursday. So next week is normal. Next week is pretty regular. And then, of course, go watch Tim on Wednesday nights. It's always a good time. And yeah, I think I've spent enough time talking. Let me go grab that, show you what's going on. Okay, eventually that little, well, I call it little, but it's not. It's like 3 feet by 2 feet, that little spray booth that I have here. And it's kind of a temporary setup in here now while I'm working on getting the garage ready for the bigger spray booth, but it works for now. So here is, I still got at least 2 more coats to put on this. But here's what it looks like with the satin. And that's still kind of on the wet side, but you get the idea. So yeah, so from the right angle that's going to appear, and then as you tilt it, that's going to disappear. So that's doing what we want it to do. So there you go. So thank you all. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. So thank you. And again, no storm problems with the feed, so we should be all set for Monday, which is exciting. So thank you all. Have a wonderful weekend. If you celebrate Christmas, enjoy the holiday. If you don't celebrate Christmas, enjoy the weekend, and be good to one another. Pass it forward, and I will catch you guys all the next time. All right, have a good one. Talk to you later.